Mark Hutton, University of Maine Cooperative Extension Vegetable Specialist. What I'd like to talk to you about today is one of the ways you can trellis your indeterminate tomato varieties for at home. You can build a trellis using many different types of material. The particular trellis I've built here, we're using some angle iron that's drilled out. These have been pounded into the ground about 2 feet. 4x4 posts would work, or any other kind of tall fence post. And then we've taken a heavy 9-gauge wire and stretched across the top. I've also seen this done with 2x4s across the top, on top of 4x4 posts. Then from our wire, we're hanging a string down to our plants. Now these plants don't look quite as big as what you may normally expect to see in your home garden. We've pruned these back to a single stem, and we've been wrapping this stem around this string as the plant grows. And we want to keep it fairly tight. We don't want to take off too much foliage. We're not taking off any foliage, but we are removing the suckers that are coming out from the leaf axils. So if you look at this plant, you can see we've got a sucker coming off right here. This is what we're going to be removing. So we can simply just snap that off, and we keep these pruned all the way up. Oh, here's one down here that we've missed. And as the plant grows, it'll continue to try and put out more suckers, but we'll just keep removing those. And we'll very carefully wrap the stem around this string as the plant grows taller. When we wrap and when we prune, we never want to prune off the last sucker at the top of the plant. So here's our last sucker here. We want to leave this on until the plant grows a little bit taller. If, for instance, you can see here that the tip of this plant has broken off. So we're going to rely on the next lowest sucker that's still on the plant may become our new growing point, our new stem leading up the vine. So we'll wrap this around just to see. Maybe it is going to be all right. Here's another sucker down here that we want to just very carefully just snap off. Now we can prune these plants to a single stem. You see our plant spacing here is about 18 inches. Another option for trellising tomatoes would be to trellis our tomatoes with 2 stems rather than a single stem. If you're going to trellis your plants to 2 stems, we're going to treat these individual plants really as 2 plants. So you notice that we've opened up the plant spacing. When we were at a single stem, we were at about 15 to 18 inch spacing. Now we're at about a 3-foot spacing between plants. Basically, we're going to treat these, as I said, as 2 separate plants. So we're going to keep 2 main branches on our plant. And the branches that we're going to keep will be the main branch that has the first flower cluster. Our second branch will be the lowest branch that comes out beneath the first flower cluster. We call that the fork. That way we have the 2 branches trellising up, and then we're going to, again, keep all the suckers, which are the stems or small branches in the leaf axils. Here's our leaf, here's our sucker. We're going to keep those removed. What's going to happen with those is they'll grow and take energy from the plant. Eventually they'll produce some fruit. But for us here in New England, by the time these suckers produce fruit that we could eat, it's really going to be too late in the season. So here you can see we've got a tomato plant. This is an indeterminate tomato plant, the vining type tomato plant. And we can see our main stem, which has the flower clusters on the stem. Here we see we've got a couple hands of fruit that have set. And then at each leaf, we often have a small branch, or refer to these as suckers, starting to grow. So here you can see a fairly large one. Here's a smaller one. And when we talk about pruning tomatoes, what we're talking about is removing these suckers. In this case, we're pruning our plant to just a single very strong stem. It's what's going to have our flower clusters. That's where our fruit is going to be. If we were to leave these suckers to develop, eventually they'll get flowers and they'll set fruit. but usually it's going to be very far out and it's taking a lot of energy away from the main plant. So we want to go through, if we're pruning to a single stem, and remove all those suckers.
This is how to build a trellis for your cucumbers in your self-watering container. What I've already done is taken these sticks, these poles that I found on the street, just tape them around, secure them up. Just want these to be growing up as opposed to wild and out. So again, I found these on the street. You can use branches from trees or anything that's gonna hold up right. So the other thing that I have some string, and then also have a scissor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the string and kind of just tie it around these poles and then drape this up so it continues to climb. And if I need to add extensions on this, I could always just add sticks or add something if there's holes in the top here. So you can add extensions to the top. But then the other thing you want to be careful of is you want to leave room, because you still need to water, so you want to leave a little bit of room for the hose or whatever you use to water to get to the pipe. So start off, I'm going to go a little bit higher than the pipe. Tie this up here, take this string, work it around. So now that this is strung up and tied up, see, got the ropes going around. So what I'm going to do is take the celery plant, rest it on the inside. Take this side, rest it on the inside also. And that should help. And then also leaving, again, room to water pipe right there. This should help the promote it to grow up as opposed to growing out and binding all over the place. Now here's a closer look as to what the trellis looks like close up. You can see here's the poles taped. Here's the string going up. And then the plant is on the inside, hoping to promote it to grow up. So that's how to build a trellis for a cucumber in a self-watering container.